All right.
Let me
It has
reminisce
been
over you.
it's been a minute, guys. It's been a minute. Um, Gosh, it's been a couple of weeks. We had a mini hiatus, so to speak.
Got
Lot of
a lot
things,
doing a
lot
lot.
going on. So first and foremost, always want to give honor to God for everything He's done in our lives. Without God, you know, I don't have anything. My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Um, He has been such a blessing for Christy and I. I can't even begin to. Hey, Reese, Mike
Hi,
and Reese
Queen
on here.
Reese.
Um, so I thank God for everything. We're going to do a show about marriage, and I'm definitely going to have Mike and Reese on here. It's one of our good friends. Um, so we haven't been around for a minute, guys, doing the show. Got some other things that's kind of happening. Definitely want to send some prayers out to, um,
Hi, King Mike.
yeah, King. I um, definitely want to send a shout out to um,
Kingfish.
Kingfish. Yes, my brother from another mother. Definitely, he's going through the health challenge right now, so definitely our prayers are definitely going to be with him. So
Sending prayers up.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So God is great. So that's it, guys. We've been doing some things, man. And so what kind of prompt this subject to love conquers is because um there's a lot of things going on in the internet right now. It's just kind of crazy out here. If you guys been watching YouTube, Instagram, TikToks, a lot of people are breaking up. A lot of people who've been together for years. One of them, Deion Sanders, was with Tracy Edmonds for like 12 years. They got engaged 4 years ago. Now they broke up, right? Another thing that was kind of went viral was Tyrese and his ex-wife, and they've been going back and forth because she said that you know because of some of her girlfriends chirping in her ear is one of the main reasons why they have a divorce, and so
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things going on right
Yeah,
now, a lot
it
of
is.
things out here um, that we just kind of want to address this topic of love because I think a lot of people nowadays are just so I think that like with society now giving people the empowerment to feel like I'm all about me, right? I can take care of me. I'm all about me. What can you do for me? Right? It's about self-empowerment and self-indulgence and stuff like that. And the problem with that is that nobody has gotten anywhere in life by themselves. Somebody along the way have helped you. Somebody along the way have blessed you. Somebody along the way was
Hey,
praying for
Mika.
you. And so there's a lot that you really and truly you have connected to you that helped you get to these places. So when we're talking about love tonight, I got my beautiful wife with me. Um, she does all my intro stuff, y'all, all the graphics. She's the producer of the show. So there's a couple of things tonight. So um, I just want to thank my wonderful, wonderful queen for everything she does, y'all. She's the glue. You know what I mean? You
Oh,
know,
we're the glue.
no, you the glue, baby. You know what I'm saying? You definitely glue. You help me kid stay balanced. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I could get a little out of hand. So
Whatever.
so
I get
so
out of hand with you.
he's so silly. But we want to just come on here tonight, guys. We're not gonna be here too long, but we just want to talk about love and just represent love and represent what God intended for us to be. Listen, God did not intend for anybody to be alone. And there's a difference between being single and being alone, right? So you could be single and be having a great time and understand some things. But there are times I'm sure people who are single get lonely and things like that. And there are people who are married who are lonely, right? Even though you have a
Mhm.
spouse. But we believe that love conquers everything. And that's the theme that you guys saw on the little banner and the flyer, you got to have that agape kind of love. That's biblical. That's that love um, that keeps you going. You know what I mean? That's that love that's above, right? If you can't say it's that love that is an overflow of what you have for God. So you got to have that kind of love. And I just feel like people in society now just don't have that. There's a lot of manipulation out here. There's a lot of selfishness out here.
You're right.
Some crazy situations. What's going on right now with Puff Daddy and that I forgot her name, Cassie, and then like in the backstory, he kind of held her music up so she couldn't do some things. You know what I mean? Like, but there's a lot of people who are in marriages that are kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like people who don't want to see you grow. There are people who are married to people and don't want to see them do well. That I cannot stand when I see spouses talk about their other spouse and don't even understand that. Do you understand you got their last name and they got your last name? Y'all live in the same house. So if you're talking bad about this person, you're really a reflection on you. You know what I mean? It's so crazy. So my wife and I want to come on today and just encourage a lot of you couples out here, a lot of you single people out here, a lot of human beings out here to just to start to love life, right? Start loving each other. And everything is not about battling all the time. I mean, it's about, growing it. You only live once. Life is too short to hold grudges. Life is too short to have unforgiveness. This year has been one of the most beautiful years of my life because I was able to kind of mend fences, so to speak, with my father. My father and I, my mom and dad split, I would say, when I was young. When I wasn't that young, you know what I'm saying? I was I was in high school. But my father wasn't really part of my life like that. And I always held it against him, always had resentment issues and stuff like that. And a lot of times we don't realize, but we got that little carrot that dangles in front of you that you think you put on the back burner. You see what I'm saying? And then you don't realize it comes out. And so my father was that one thing in my life that I tackled everything else, but it was just that one thing. And every time I hear his voice, and I didn't talk to him for years. Right? We didn't talk for years. And then my father got sick, and so I've been taking care of my father, but it was kind of weird because I had to find forgiveness in that. And that's when we're talking about love. You know what I mean? Love conquers everything. The love I had for my father, I didn't realize how much I had for him. Because the Bible says, honor your mother and father that your days may be long. You know what I'm saying? So I loved my father. I just, we just weren't there. But I had a great opportunity in forgiveness, right? So let's start with that first. Forgiveness is key. A lot of people are not blessed right now because you have unforgiveness. There's somebody in your life, whether it's a family member, a friend, some colleague, somebody in your life, you are holding unforgiveness and you don't realize it. You know what I'm saying? Because I really didn't realize how much I was with my father, how much I was hanging on to that.
Right.
And then my wife would tell me, Chrissy would tell me, like, babe, every time you talk to your father, you become a whole different person. You know what I mean? And I didn't even realize how much different I was.
Your whole demeanor would just frown.
Right. My whole aura was just off.
You look down.
Right.
Even Lyric would be like, Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, it was just crazy. And so when I finally got to sit down with my father, and the reason why I'm telling this story real quickly, that love conquers and forgiveness is real, is because when I finally sat down with my father and I started talking to him and I started to build kind of rapport with him, I realized some stuff about my father. My father was really an introvert, right? My father's really kind of a loner, right? My father was never going to be that guy that, that we're going to go hang out and, a father-son kind of thing. It just wasn't his personality. Didn't mean he doesn't love me. It just wasn't his personality. And so because of my life experiences and dealing with things, dealing with people, I was able for the first time to see my father as a person. Like, wow, that explains it. And God is so great. The reason why I realized that my father was never going to be that person is because when it's all said and done, the thing the picture that I had or the vision I had about my father being there was never going to happen because that was never his personality. It was just never who he was, right? So a lot of times we hold stuff in, guys, and we don't realize we're holding stuff in, man. And that love is going to conquer everything. And so the love I have for my father, right, brought me to the place where I was able to forgive him. And I talk to my father every day now. It was the most amazing thing, man. We just mended, and I talk to him all the time. I don't make sure he's good. And for the first time in my life, y'all, I'm gonna tell you something. And I told this to my wife. I don't have any bondages in my life. I don't have any. You know what I'm saying? Like I
It
don't
was a
have any
relief.
baggage.
It
Right.
was a relief.
It was a relief. For the first time in my life, I don't have any baggage. You know
Y'all
what I
needed
mean?
that communication
We
too.
needed
That
it. Right.
that coming together, even though you kind of didn't want to even have a conversation,
Right.
but the situation of you helping your father in a time of need,
Exactly.
it brought out forgiveness for you, but at the same time, some humbleness on his part too,
Right.
because
Right.
it caused him to say, he never had to lean on any of y'all before.
Right.
So in that moment, he had to be humble, but he listened to God in that moment, and he was very thankful, and he thanked you every day.
And you brought me to a good place, babe. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Some of
Okay.
y'all, when you have unforgiveness in your life, it really and truly holds up blessings. I didn't realize it was holding up blessings in my life.
Mm.
Praying, I mean, the things Christian I believe in God for, and I mean, I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to be doing, and it's just not manifesting. And I'm like, why is things not working? Why is it not doing this? You're right. I'm a good person. I'm doing all these great things. I had a list of things I was doing when I was right, but how come I didn't see the manifestation of stuff? And I didn't
Right.
realize unforgiveness will hold up your blessing.
Mm.
Here's amazing what happened. Because me and my father were able to mend some things, guys. My father's a praying man. Has some flaws, but he's a praying man. My father blessed me every day. Every single day, my father blessed me. Right? He's in Grenada now, so he ended up going back. Got some health stuff together. Still got some stuff going on, but he's retired and he's living in another country right now. He comes back to the U.S. I think every 6 months he has to come back here for his citizenship. But he the beautiful thing about this whole thing is he blessed me every day he was here. And when I made amends with my father, it opened up blessings that I never, ever thought I would have. Like right now, I have more. Chris and we could go, we have more resources now than we have ever had in the whole time of us being together. I'm talking about financially, I'm talking about just spiritually. Like it's just, naturally, there's some things that I've always wanted, things I was thinking about doing. All of a sudden, the favor of God, I started opening up. It was just crazy. All because I was able to say, you know what, boom, forgive my father. So I say all that to say, guys, when it's all said and done, when we're talking about tonight, love conquers everything. It was because of the love I have for my father that I was able to
Mhm.
overcome that. So now we're going to just kind of translate that into the love that you have for one another. So it's what's so crazy. So what I'm gonna let Christy go first. What we're going to talk about is, babe, can you recall something in our relationship, in our marriage? We'll start with us first, and it was kind of broad. We'll just broaden it out,
Okay.
like that I've done. That you could say, you know what, that was a manifestation of love to the point where it was like it was something that kind of stuck out to you. Is there any moment in our marriage that you
Mhm.
can recall when you say, you know what, love really brought us to this point, man? This is like
Well, I just want to acknowledge King Mike's comment. He said a barrier was torn down in order for the bridge of forgiveness to take place.
oh, I like that, Mike. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
So that's definitely a true statement, and I'm glad that that barrier was broken. So, but as far as our marriage, Oh gosh. When you're with somebody for a long time, it it has to be, there has to be love that carries you through situations. Good times, bad times. You're gonna have challenges no matter what. No matter what. Um,
Right,
that's just a part of life. That's a part of the seasons that you go through, right?
right,
You're gonna go through sunshine. You're gonna go through rain. You're gonna go through um, what is it? Your hot days, your cold days. So you're just gonna have, you're gonna have your seasons in your
right.
relationships, and that's with anybody, with anybody. Um, with you, I remember. Now, me and you already had this discussion, uh, but
I
but
have no idea what she's about to say, y'all. This is off
oh
the cuff. Y'all know
God,
how we, you know how we
you
do in the
put
show,
me on the
right?
spot, so I
I
gotta
know.
put you on
So,
the spot, right? I do grow in love with you. I grow in love with you every day, which is an awesome thing because we could talk. I like the fact that we could talk about anything, and I think that a lot of people miscommunicate with their significant other or spouse, right? Or they don't talk, or they don't listen to each other, and that could be a flaw too, because you want to be able to listen to the other person, see what they have to say. You have to care about what another person feels,
right,
in order
right.
to make things grow or to get an understanding. You want to have some type of discernment. So my thing with you, Mr. Man, with you, the challenge is, and she is a wonderful soul to any and everybody. And one of the things that I absolutely love about my husband is that he's very courteous. He's very caring. He does wear his heart on his sleeve. Um, and when he needs to be. They say even with the nicest people, they have other sides to them too, right? Yeah. Yeah. You've seen other sides to me too, babe. So
Yes, and there are people who would not believe
I,
there's a Jekyll and Hyde. There's another
I
coin
cause you
to go through.
smile, but you have buttons, like you have pet peeves that you just
Right.
like,
Everybody have
no,
buttons that they push. Right.
exactly.
Right.
Disrespect. I cannot stand anyone that disrespects another person. It's just one of those things. So if I'm asking for respect, I gotta respect my husband. My husband has to respect me. It's karma. And God said, what you do unto others, I mean, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. So, all right, with that said, I remember when we first met, I was feeling you, babe. I was, even though I tried to give you away to my girlfriend.
That's a crazy story, y'all.
How
We were
however,
just talking about that last night. That was a
we
crazy
were we were
story.
I, and but like I said, at the time, mentally, I
Mm-mm-mm.
wasn't trying to deal with another personality or anything like that. But throughout I'll say when we eventually went from friendship to a dating stage to you meeting my children and making them your own, so to speak, because
Right.
you had to get into a mental space like, okay, I just inherited a family.
Yeah, that's a crazy
So,
story too. I'll tell y'all about that. Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. So what really attracted me to you was the fact that when you did get the chance to meet the children, meet my children, my four kids. Um, did I just put up eight? My four kids. You dove in. You asked them questions. You were wondering, what type of personalities they had. You
Right.
really engaged with them. You became like they were just as important to you as they were to me.
Right.
So you naturally became a father figure to them, to a point where without even you asking them, it was the kids that asked you if it was okay to call you dad.
I remember that. I remember that.
So
Now,
yeah, and
yeah,
and that
that was beautiful. That was crazy because I never
yeah,
had anybody
and
um
and
I
it
didn't dealt with that. I was
it
just
blew my mind because I was like, they want to call you dad. You know,
Girls,
I've
my heart, man. Ooh.
yeah, yeah, they're definitely your heart, and that, you know what, for you to be a father figure in their life before we even made a commitment, that was a big step for you who have never been a father, and just to
Yeah, that was
jump into
crazy.
having four.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So
That was kind of wild, man. We gonna tell y'all. Yeah, that was a crazy story. You
yes.
know,
Well,
all of this stuff.
but that's one of the reasons. But like I said, it's definitely your heart. I saw God in you. I saw the love that you have within you. Now, with that love, my king, my dear king, he he has a hard time, y'all, had a hard time telling females no.
Oh my gosh, babe! It
You
was.
you're
Oh my
He's
god.
too nice. You're too nice. You're way too. I thought I was the nicest person, and I'm very,
Yeah, but
genuine and everything.
yeah,
But
it was
you
crazy,
were,
y'all.
you're
It was. It was.
extra,
I
extra,
was very. Yeah, I mean, we have the same kind of
extra.
heart. Yeah, we had this, y'all. No joke. We had this huge thing yesterday. We were talking to our daughter Lyric, and and it's so crazy because
Yes,
you got to
Reese.
put
Yes.
boundaries. You got to put boundaries in your life, right? And you have to put boundaries in your heart.
Right.
You have to. You have to protect your
You
heart.
have to. You.
You have to protect, the person you're with. Protect their heart. That's the thing
Yes.
about love, right? You got to
Y'all
protect
protect
that.
each other. Protect each
You
other.
do. But a lot of times, I think a lot of people
Love
don't
you
know
too,
how to.
Mika Meek.
Yeah, we love you guys, man. I some of the comments
Yes.
here. Love you,
Love y'all.
Mika, Reese, Mike.
Yes. Love y'all
Um,
so much.
but a lot of times, man, people don't. I think what happens is I can't protect your heart if I don't know how to protect my own heart. If I don't
Mm.
set boundaries on the things I do, right? And so it was kind of crazy. So that's the story. That first part of the story Chris was talking about, she almost give away her soulmate, y'all. That's a true story.
It is.
I met Christy and I. So I people don't know our story. Some of you guys know, some of you guys don't. So I met Christy at an old school Saturday party, right?
In Atlanta.
Um, in Atlanta. And so crazy about it was, and this might be for
Neither one of us
somebody,
from Atlanta.
none of us from Atlanta, but here's a crazy part that I want somebody to know. Um, where you meet somebody may be completely out of the element or maybe completely different than what you think you was gonna meet somebody. Like I always
Yeah.
believed I was gonna meet my wife in church, right? I'm a God-fearing man, I go to church. So I
Mm.
felt like I was gonna meet my wife in church, right? She's gonna be maybe she a member of the church or something like that. So that's what I thought. And so but that wasn't
It's a beautiful
God's
thing.
plan. It wasn't God. It wasn't wrong with that. But that's
No.
where you have to seek God. And sometimes you have your own way of what you think and what you plan. And a lot of
Mm.
people are single. A lot of people who believe in for a mate or believe in to be with somebody, you have to get out of your own way,
Right.
right? So just allow God. So um, Christy and I were both married to other people before, so we're both
Mm.
divorcees, so to speak. And so
I left my ex back in
right,
2005. I
right,
I,
and so
I forgot the date that the
yeah, no, but we ain't gonna go back to the date now.
yeah, but
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 the
we
thing
didn't meet
is,
till like 2011.
right? So the end of 2011. But here's the thing,
Yes.
right?
Towards the
Because
end of 2011.
like, but here's the part. The part we need to get to ain't the dates. Let me get to the real part of this story, y'all.
Go
We
ahead.
go to this old school Saturday party, right? And so again, one of the things about going to old school Saturdays is party days in Atlanta. It's like once a month at like the Sheraton or one of these major hotels in a ballroom.
Hmm.
So, but one of the things for me at that point in my life was I went through a divorce. Um, and so I was kind of like, you know what, man, I don't know what to look for. Right. So I had a list. So I had a list of things I believe in God for in a woman. Right. And
And
so,
I did not have a list because
right.
after my messy behind divorce, I didn't want to doggone.
Right. You don't want to be with nobody.
I was like,
But
I'm good.
right.
I'm
But a lot of
happy.
people have lists though, right? It's so true. But a lot
Oh
of people
yeah,
have
I
these
mean,
lists, right? And
You
so a lot,
you
if
have
you try to go by that
preferences.
list, right?
Yeah.
If you go by that list, y'all, sometimes you don't know how God can move for you. So you kind of limit yourself without realizing it. So the
Mm-hmm.
first thing I did when I got a divorce, and I wasn't really looking to date, but I was like, if I meet somebody, so be it. I had to get rid of my list. And I said, okay, Lord, you know what? I just go with the generic part of that. Like I want somebody that's beautiful on the inside, beautiful on the outside, somebody that's gonna love me unconditionally, somebody that's a big heart, very generous, great spirit. So I went with a lot of intangible things, more
Mm-hmm.
so than a lot of just straight physical things. And with
Right.
me doing so, it uncuffed God's hands in trying to bring the right person to my life. But
Hold
it
on. What were these tangible things you wanted in a woman? What?
well, the tangible things I wanted, at the time before I met you, like I wanted a woman who didn't have any kids. She had to
Hmm.
have a college degree,
Okay.
made such amount of money, all those things are things that I thought I wanted, right? And I figured
Right.
because society would show you that, or other people try to, embed that in you. That these are the things that you need to be successful, and you got to be careful with that too, y'all. Like what
You
works
really
for
do.
other people don't work for everybody, and
Right.
so because I say it all the time. Chrissy will tell you, my ex-wife is everything I wanted on paper.
Hmm.
Like if you check off all the check marks, that's how my ex-wife was. But
And
when
you
I
said that you
married
was
her,
like,
yeah,
I didn't
I had
have
no,
any
I
regrets.
didn't have any regrets because that's what I wanted. That's why I would tell people, be careful what you ask for,
Ooh,
because you will just get it, and it may not be what you think it'll be. You know what I mean? And so it
that
it,
right
it
there.
wasn't
Yeah,
what I
me.
right. And so I thought that's what I wanted. I felt like everything checked off those boxes, but it was not what God had for me. So I
Right.
go to this old school party, y'all. So now I'm like, I'm open. I'm like, Lord, I'm just open. If it ever happens, happens. I go in to meet Christy. I saw her smile. This place had about 300 people in it. And if you know my wife
It's
has an
big.
amazing smile. She does. She's trying not to smile now, but I'm gonna make her smile. See? I'm gonna make you smile. See?
Me.
There it is. See, there it is. Right? She had an amazing smile. So when I saw her, I was like, "Oh, see that smile."
Gap in my teeth and everything.
It wasn't even that. I just think she was. I said, "Okay, she kind of cute." So I approached her and I was like, "Look, I just want one dance with you because it was old school." I said, "I just want one dance with you." I said, "I just want to, I just want to enjoy myself." I said, "This, just a one dance, just kind of check the vibe." And her girlfriend's like, "Yeah, Chrissy, I'll leave you here. Let me go find her the girlfriend." It was so crazy. You're about to leave,
Right.
right? So here I am, getting ready to dance with her. Then, of course, it was old school Saturday, so all they play is old school hip hop and R&B and jazz. So whatever song came on next, I can't tell you the song. Do you even remember the song? I don't even
Babe,
remember
I
the
don't
song.
remember the song that came on.
So, but we
But
were
we
just
were
jamming.
doing the Running Man,
Running
the
Man, the Cabbage
Snake,
Patch, everything. We were just
yes,
having a
the
good time.
WAP,
The WAP, everything, right? And she
all
had this
old school dance.
annoying backpack purse on. So here I
Yes,
am. I'm trying to check out Christy, y'all. I'm trying to check out like her
backpack
body.
purses keeps a distance.
Yeah, but so I'm like, ooh, I want to see if she fine and she cute, is she thick, all that
You
good
act like
stuff.
the backpack purse covered my whole body, babe. It wasn't that
It
big.
covered the back part where I couldn't see all the, well, let's say assets, so to speak. Right. So I couldn't see everything. So, and it was it's like a club atmosphere. So it's kind of dark and stuff. So I'm like, I don't know what you're working with. So I'm like,
Mm.
okay. So we're jamming, we're having a good
Didn't
time.
need all that. Didn't need all that.
Right. I'm like, okay, but she got this annoying backpack purse. I'm like, okay. So we doing all our stuff. So I'm like, I'm like the vibe. So we danced to like three songs. It wasn't just
Yeah.
one song. Cause it was back to back to back. That's like
Right.
three songs, y'all.
You know
And
how
then
the DJ do.
right. And then all of a sudden, I was like, you know what, man? I said, look, I like your vibe. I really would like to, connect with you. You know what I mean? Let's connect. You mind if I get the number? Christy said no, y'all. I kid you not. Christy said no. She
I was
said
like,
no,
I'm not
I'm
gonna
good.
call.
I'm not. She's like, no, I'm good. And I'm like, what you mean? She's like, well, I'll take your number. Now we guys know that's code
Because
for you ain't
you
never gonna
kept
call her.
pushing.
Yeah, I was like, because I figured, we had a good time. It was the vibe was cool. So I know you was feeling my vibe. I'm feeling yours. We was laughing and
Right.
so I'm like, okay, what am I missing? All of a
If it's meant
sudden,
to be, I'll see him again.
yeah, something crazy like that. I'm like, no.
He's
I was
like,
like,
I'm
you know
not
what?
leaving.
I'm not leaving. I said, look, I said, it's not. She said, so I'm like, do you have a boyfriend kind of thing? She said, no. So I'm like, okay, well, what's wrong getting a number? And so she was like,
That
you
was
know
too
what? I'll
honest.
call you. Give me your number. So then she asked me my name, right? So I told my name was Chiano, but it's in loud music and stuff, so she couldn't, I didn't even pronounce.
Yeah.
She was like, what? Huh?
I said,
And I was
spell it.
spell it. So she tried to spell it. We're in the right. She tried to spell it, but she couldn't spell it. I was trying to say it out loud,
I
and while
wasn't
she tried to put
peeling.
it on her phone, so I was like, you know what? I said, give me a phone. Let me put it in there for you. So as
Mm.
I put my name in, right, and I put my number in, I hit the call button. So now I
Across
got her number.
his phone from
I
my
called my
phone.
phone, y'all. I
Yes.
called my phone from
Click
her phone. I hit the
behind.
call button. I said, click. So now I got her number, right?
And I looked and I was like, what? This dude's slick. Now I can't take his number out
So but
because he
because now I
might
got your
call.
number, right? Now I got your number. So I gave her back the phone, right? I gave her back the
Right,
phone. I was like,
smooth.
okay. I was like, okay, cool. So we talked. We didn't talk too much long after that, and
A
then
couple days
a couple of
after.
days. So I waited. I did a 2 day rule, 2 or 3 day. Was it 2 day rule? I think it's a 2 day rule.
You called me.
So I sent you a text.
No, you
So
sent me a
there's this
text. I don't like
picture.
texting. I don't like texting.
She was like texting, but there's a picture on her phone that she
No,
has.
Mika Meek. Is it your
She has
soulmate?
a phone. There's a picture on your phone that I love. That I said, you know what? I'm gonna get that picture one day. I
Oh
told her that. I
yeah,
said, I'm gonna get a
yeah. You
picture one day.
told me that at old school.
And she was like, okay, yeah, whatever kind of thing. So 2 days went by, and I sent her a text and say, hey, I don't know if you remember me. I'm the guy. We dancing. Da da da. My name's, just to introduce myself. And then she sent me the picture.
Hmm.
I remember you replied. You sent me that picture, and I was like, oh, I was like, okay, cool, all right.
I said I
So
remember, and
right,
you sent me a picture of you.
I sent a picture of myself, so we kind of
I
remember what
said
each
send
other
me a
look like,
picture. Right.
right? So I'm like, okay, cool. I said, okay, I remember. Okay, I remember she was cute, but I had jog my memory. I'm like, okay, cool. So we didn't text too long. We got to talking on the phone. So now
Mm.
get to the part, y'all, where she got to give her soulmate away. Okay, this is so crazy. First of all, like when it was kind of crazy because
Mika.
one night I was talking to Christy on the phone, and your ex boyfriend showed up at her house.
Mm,
Okay, came through the door. So apparently, like Chris, they had lived together. Right, they had lived together, and then they had broken up.
mm,
But I think his name was still on the lead, so he said I'd keep something like that. So I'm on
mhm,
the phone with Christy, y'all, and all of a sudden, this dude, just all I heard was click. And I was like,
mhm.
what's wrong? I'm trying to call him back, can't get through. She calls me and says, you know what? I have the kids in the car. My ex came by and he hung up the phone and da da da. I'm
Oh,
like,
he was in stalker mode.
yeah, it was so crazy. I was like,
It was.
okay.
I was
So
like,
that
what
was
kind of
right,
situation is this?
right. So in
We
my mind, I'm
grown.
like, okay. I'm like, she
That's
got
how
a little
I
situation
dated an
going
older
on.
person
So I'm like, is that
before.
entanglement? I'm like, what's going on? Is that an entanglement
It
situation?
was an entanglement.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So
That was before you.
right. He's so silly. So let me fast forward. So now after that situation, I'm like, what did I get myself into? I'm like, but I'm still vibing with her. I'm like, cool. So now we're talking, y'all, like every day, 2, 3, you meet somebody, you talking 3, 4 hours in a day, all that good stuff.
Mhm.
So I told her, I was like, I'll meet you at the next old school party.
Old school.
Old
Right.
school, because it happened once a month. So I said, well, I'll just
Right.
meet you at the next one. I kid you not, y'all.
No, you
I
asked
talked
me if
to
I was
Christy.
going to the next one. I said I
Yeah, I
might.
asked you if you go to the next one. And you're like, well, I don't know. I'm like, well, let's go. I'm like, I'll meet you there.
Mhm.
Right. So she was like, okay, I'll talk to my girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, cool. So y'all, I'm talking to Christy every day for like 3, 4 hours a day. Y'all know the vibe. You talking late at night and you know what I'm
I don't
saying?
know
So
if it
you
was three
building
or
it
four
up.
hours, but
We
it was
talked
long.
forever. It was long. We talked forever. And
We had good
so
conversation.
great conversation. So now I get to the next old school event the next
I was
month,
getting to
right?
know my friends.
Right. We're friends, we're cool.
Yes.
But we wasn't just talking we was just vibing with each other, y'all. I'm feeling this girl. And I'm like, so I get to the old school party the next month. It's Christy and her girlfriend. I remember vividly what you had on. You had on a pink dress with black boots. I will never forget that. Pink dress, black boots, and that stupid black backpack purse. I'm like, oh my God, if she don't just get rid of this stupid backpack purse every time. So I'm like, okay, here she go.
Protection thing.
So I'm like, okay, here she go with a backpack purse on. So she was cool. I sort of smiled, but now I actually got a chance to check you out because I really hadn't checked you out the first night. So I'm like, oh, she kind of cute. She got a little body on her. I'm like, okay, that's what she working with. So I'm like, okay, cool. That'll work.
I get it from I get it
you
from my
know,
mama.
yes, your mother's a beautiful woman, so she ages very well. So so thank God. So I got a glimpse when I met your mom. Thank God. But so now I met Christy, y'all, and so we get each other hug. We start vibing. We talking. Remember now, I haven't seen her in a month. All we've been doing talking on the phone and stuff. Her girlfriend is sitting there. So we dance once. I think we danced like one time, and then we walk back to the
Oh
seats.
no, you kept me from dancing with some dude that was trying to come
Oh yeah,
behind
some
me.
dude tried to come on to you, and I was like, bruh. I said,
You,
this here
I got
my
this one.
play. I got this play. I got get
I
your
was just
own.
walking on the
Get your
dance floor,
own
and then
play.
the
Get
dude was
your
like,
own now. Get your
I
own
got this
player.
one.
This one mine. Get your own. Right? So dude stepped away. So we walk over to the seats where Chrissy and her girlfriend is. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm like, I think I'm about to go get her some bottle of water or something. And
Yeah.
so Chrissy, so she just standing there, and then she introduces me to her girlfriend, right? Like, hey, hey, Alice, hey, this is Chee, this is what I'm telling you about, So I'm like, okay, cool, she introduced it, okay. So then all of a sudden, y'all, the whole conversation did a 180,
Mm.
and so I was like, okay, cool. I'm thinking just introduce each other as that's her girlfriend, I'm thinking she don't talked about me, which she did, but I didn't know Chrissy was talking about me to hype me up. Not so that she could talk to me, y'all.
I
She
wasn't
done
trying to.
hype me up so that her girlfriend. So when Chrissy says, hey,
No, I thought you were nice and she was nice and y'all would be nice together.
how you
So
get
that,
that? And I'm talking to you for a
cause
whole
I
month
was
of
like,
my time trying to get to
girl,
know you, and you try to pull me off to your
I'm like,
girlfriend. So I had to tell her, I
you
was
my
like,
friend, you my friend, and she my friend, and we can all be friends together.
and then I had to tell you, I'm like, no. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I told her it was kind of awkward. I said, I'm
Uh,
sorry. That's not what it is. I said, did I
she
miss
said,
something? So
she
her
said,
girlfriend had to tell Christy,
yeah,
I think he's into you. Christy,
right.
the good girlfriend had to tell you, Christy, I think he's more into you than he is into me. And so I was like, yeah. I'm like, thank you so much. I'm like, nice to meet you. And I pulled you aside and I told Christy, y'all, I said, don't ever do that to me again. I said, I don't need no help hooking up with females.
I
So
didn't
I don't
say
need you to
you
hook
need
up
help.
with nobody. I said, that's the first time. I said, I'm trying to talk to you. All this time, I'm trying
Right.
to be with you.
It's
So
the
I'm like,
first
what are we
time.
doing? So I'm like, are we vibing? Oh, yeah. She's like, I don't, yeah, I know. We're cool, da da da. So now I'm hot, right? But at the same time, I'm like, I got mixed emotions. Cause I ain't seen her
No.
in a month, y'all. And I'm like, we've been talking every day. And now they kind of throw me for a loop, with her introduced her girlfriend. So I'm like, does she have
Mhm.
somebody? Is she not feeling me? What I get from all this.
Right.
So that's the story, y'all, of how she almost gave me away
My
to her
soulmate.
girlfriend.
I can't I can't believe it. But it didn't work out. God has a way of like Christy, what you doing? So I long story short, we still remained friends and we kept going out. Mika.
Because she wasn't playing hard to get. She was trying to give away
I,
somebody. That's what it
I
was. I
was
was like,
I was trying to hook up two good people that was in my life, but he was like, "Hold on, why not you? What's wrong with you?"
I'm like, I'm feeling you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you were like, oh, I got 4 kids, and then you started telling me all this stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, I already knew that because you told me that. So I'm
Right.
like, I'm
But
trying to get to feel
I
you
was
out. You know
I
what I'm
was
saying?
trying to save you. Look, mama. There go mama. There you go, ma. She
See, that's what
wasn't
women
quite
do. That's what
ready.
women do.
Thank
Y'all
you,
talking about
ma.
she wasn't quite ready. Oh,
I
she didn't say that. You didn't say none of that. I got the
hold
vibe.
on.
I'm on the phone. If
You
I'm on
the
the
one
phone
that
with you, if
okay.
I'm on the babe, if I'm on the phone with, if
What?
a dude, women, listen to this. If a dude is on the phone with you for 2, 3 hours a day, he wants to get to know you, right? He trying
Okay.
to vibe you out. It's
Okay.
not for you to hook him up with somebody else. Let me
But
just put that out there.
hey, we became
So
best friends though. We
we
became
did.
best friends. So
We did.
my
We
whole
did.
thing was I was like, look, Mika said, Mama to the rescue.
We did. We became great
We
friends,
became
actually.
great friends. So
Yeah,
we talked
yeah.
about everything that you can possibly
Everything.
talk about. And
Yeah.
even look, we're the type of couple, if we out there and we're just walking with each other and somebody could be dressed in some kind of way, you know how
Fellas, I'm
people
really
be.
blessed because a lot of guys, because here's the thing, if a
Ooh,
girl wears something, a lot of women be like, why are you looking at her? And I remember when I first, we had one encounter like that,
oh,
right?
yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We
we
did.
had one encounter and you got on me, you were like, why are you looking at her?
No, I didn't get on you.
Did you,
I
it wasn't with you?
no, I did not get on you, babe.
What
Both of
was
us
it?
was looking.
Right, but
both
that's
of
what
us,
it was.
both of us
You
was
was
looking.
like,
We was
oh, you
I
made a
was like, oh
statement. That's what it was. You made a statement. You was like, you looking kind of hard or something like that. And I was
yeah.
like, no, I wasn't.
Yes,
I
and
was,
you do look hard at people. I
I
said,
look at
yes, you
everybody like
was,
that way.
because
When
I
you
was
tell, I look
looking
at everybody
too.
that way. Right. So then I got on you. I'm like, tell me you don't see that too. So that's how you get away, fellas. Because the same thing you see, your woman sees. Just be
Me
honest.
too. Because
I'm
you be
like,
like,
yeah, if this girl wearing something off the wall, it could be see through. It could be a
yep,
lot showing. It could be something just off the charts crazy. We gonna look. I got eyes, and
and
I'm
we
not
gonna
blind.
look too.
You don't look
But
too.
but our thoughts are probably a little bit different from your thoughts. Just
My
saying.
thoughts are just that, man, what did she got on? That it was just kind of crazy. And I remember when we started. It's
But
so
we can talk about stuff like
we could
that,
talk about
right?
and you when you marry somebody that's your best friend, y'all.
Yeah.
There's elements to this, y'all, where it's such a blessing because you could talk about everything. I
Yeah.
remember that time I went to the mall. I remember that time I went to the mall and I was
Mm,
walking and I saw this chick, beautiful, it was a beautiful lady, and
mm,
she had on this dress, and so I was like, man, it's a beautiful dress. So I asked her, I was like, hey, I said, how are you? And she was smiling at me and everything, and I was like, oh yeah, hey, I said, can I ask you a quick question? She was like, sure, sure. She's like, I said, where'd you get that dress? I said, my girlfriend. I said, man, I said, she looked great in that. I said, man, that's awesome. I said, if you just let me know where you got that, I can let her know. Man, that girl cursed me out. She was so mad at me. She started fussing at me and she started cussing me out. Damn,
she
why would
thought
you
you were
ask me that?
stopping her to talk to her.
But right, I guess she thought I was going to, yeah, I think she thought I was going to holler at her, but it wasn't, I wasn't trying to holler at her. I just think she looked good in the dress, and then she kind of built like my girlfriend, which was Christy, y'all. So I was like, and my whole time, and it's so crazy. I'm so in love with that's when you're in love with somebody, because I'm so in love with my girlfriend at the time, which was Christy, that I
Mm-hmm.
did not see this woman's face like that. Like I imagine Christy in that dress, if that makes sense. So when she had me, I was just thinking about, man, Christy gonna look good in
Look,
that dress.
my mom said it.
Well, I didn't mean
You
to, but
deserve that cussing out, Chee.
I didn't mean to. I mean, it wasn't intentional. I was just like, I wasn't thinking about it. I was like, that would look good on my girlfriend, So I'm trying, just let me
You
know when
should
you
have.
got it, you know.
That's
And
like a
so,
slap in the face.
well, now I know. I mean, I should have. I mean, I wasn't rude to the chick. I complimented. I was like, you look
Ugh.
beautiful and all this other stuff, but I wasn't trying to get with her. I was just trying to figure out where she got the dress from.
You
So
might as well would not have even asked.
well,
I,
now I know. Fellas, don't do that. Okay, let me put it out there. Don't do what I did.
no,
Okay,
I mean, there's
so
no harm in that. I think if that was to happen to me and somebody
well,
was,
babe, you different.
fuck-
You just a whole different
I
breed.
am different. I
You
do
just different.
respond. I respond differently,
You got
y'all.
a nice heart about it. Yeah. You got your energy is different. So you
I'm the
probably you'd
type
be
of
like,
person. If a woman asks me a question, and I'm gonna answer it for you.
right,
I have no problem answering a simple question for you.
Right. And see, that's cool. So
I just
so
like,
when
oh,
you
that's
gave
super sweet. I
right.
probably would have said what was on my mind too. Oh man, I thought you were hollering at me.
You're so
I was like, ooh, well, let me tell you where I got it from.
and what she did. So,
Oh no.
these are moments, y'all.
We different breeds of
We
people.
different. So when we're talking about love conquers, y'all, we're just giving you a little nugget into Christy and I's
Right?
our relationship. You know what I'm saying? We're not perfect people. We're imperfect people. We really are. We're imperfect. We
Yeah,
have flaws.
we do.
Um, but one thing we know about each other, man, and I could tell y'all this from the heart of hearts. Like I love this woman. You know what I'm saying? This woman is my heart, man. Like I love her. And
And
that's
I
what love
love mine.
conquers
I
everything. You
love
know what I'm
mine.
saying? Like I fall more and more in love with her every day.
Mhm.
But I think us becoming really good friends was just such an amazing thing because when you became my best friend, everything was just great. Like I could talk to her about anything. I can vibe with her about everything. But I'm gonna tell the story of the moment I knew I wanted to marry you. So
Oh
Chris and I,
Lord.
so we're dating. We just started dating. So we were friends, and we kind of made that transition. It was kind of crazy. Made the kind of transition. It was like
Well,
kind of
you had decided you wanted to meet the kids, and I was like, what?
yeah. I was like we started to like each other more and more. So it kind of transitioned out of the friends, still friends, but more like okay, I can see
It's
myself with this chick, right? And so
right. And I could see myself with you.
right. And so I was like, okay, she want me to meet. Here's the crazy thing. I'm gonna tell you a story. Christy and I didn't know where each other lived for like 6 months.
Hmm.
That's a true story. I didn't know where she lived, and she didn't know where I lived.
And
And
you never met my kids?
I never met
And
her kids. We would always meet on a date. Like we would set up, like during the week, it was hard for her
mm,
with the kids and everything. So
so it'll be on the weekend.
every
Mhm.
weekend we will plan something,
And I would
right?
have a girlfriend watch them or something.
Right. So we go to David Buster's, go to the movies, we would go out, and then we would go our separate ways. And just I guess the mystery of it all. It would always be like something mysterious going to the next weekend. So I'll always
Right.
look forward to my weekend spending it with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, but we didn't know where each other lived, and it was so crazy because most people don't. That'd be kind of weird for a lot of people, but it wasn't.
Mhm.
I had never done that before. Most time, if I
Well,
was dating a
we
female,
talked on the phone all the time, so it was like,
right? So it was yeah. But I remember the time. I will tell you a story because when you said love conquers everything, I will tell you the story about when I knew I wanted to marry her. Right when I knew I wanted to marry Christy,
mhm,
um, I was going back to Auburn. Well, I was already at Auburn
mhm.
University, and so, but I couldn't pay for one of the semesters. Right, so I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't pay for the semester, and I was out of grants and loans, kind of thing. So I was working in corrections. I was working crazy hours. Chrissy tell you, I was working these crazy hours in
With some bad
corrections.
behind kids.
Yeah, I was crazy. But I was working these crazy
That's
hours in
funny.
corrections. And so my plan was I was going to go ahead and, just work, stack the money and pay off my school bill and go back to school. And so I will never forget this. And so Chrissy would tell me, she would ask me, it's like, well, I know you want to go back to school. How much is your school bill? And I wouldn't even tell her. I'm like, no, I said, I don't want you even thinking about shelling out no money for me or nothing like that. No, so I wouldn't even tell her. I said, you got kids. I'm not even going to do that. I'm not even that kind of dude. You know what I mean? I handle my own. And so I never thought about it after that. Right. And so one day she was like, hey, I know, she says, look, you're working hard. I knew you're doing a lot. She said to me, she said, pull up your school account. She says, I just want to contribute a little something. Nothing major, just something small, because I love you and I believe in you. She told me this, y'all. She said, I believe in you and I believe you'll get it done. And so when she said that to me, I put up my school account. And when I pulled it up, I remember I was sitting in a chair like I'm sitting right now on a computer. And she came behind me and she put her arms around me, right? And when I saw the bill, I was like, okay, I'm getting ready to log off. And she put her arms around me and put her card on the desk, gave me a kiss, and said, "This is for you to pay off your entire school bill." And I told her, I said, I can't take that. I said, no, 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 I can't do that. She said, no. She says, my income tax money, I already paid my car, I already paid my bills that I was going to pay. And she said, I had
No,
every
I paid
plan,
my car note. I would
right,
pay my car note with my whole tax,
whole income tax check
so I wouldn't have to pay monthly on that
monthly,
car note.
right.
That was
And
for my
so,
Jeep, y'all, my JJ.
right, gee. And so with her, when she said that, she said, I've allocated. She says, I knew that I was going to do this. And I want to do this for you. Right. Now, here's the crazy thing.
I knew
We
school
had
was
just
important.
started dating. We had just started transitioning to dating. She had no ties to me, y'all. It was nothing tied to me. We weren't
No,
married.
I mean, I
We didn't have
wasn't
no
asking for anything
kids.
back.
But she believed in me, y'all. And from that moment, it brought tears to my eyes because, and even now I'm getting a little emotional because I'd never had that happen. This is somebody that believed in me so much that she would sacrifice. And that's loyalty and that's love like no other right there. And when she did that, y'all, it just it brought me to a special place, man, because I never met anybody like this. You know what I'm saying?
I
Nobody never
wanted to
really
see
did
you
something like that for me.
accomplish what
You
you had set
know,
out. You were
and,
at the
but you said
end
that to
of
me,
your semester, like the
right? But you
last
said to me,
semester.
it was our last year. It was the last year. But you said to me,
It
you
was the
said you
last year.
believed in me. I remember that. I said you said you believed in me and you sacrificed and you was like, and I was like, man, I've never met this chick. I've never met a woman like this before in my life. So that moment I knew that moment that I was never I was never going to leave you. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew at that moment, man, I'm here with her. Like I want her. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew that at that moment. Not I didn't know it before. I didn't think about it before, but that was just confirmation. Like
Yeah, you thought about it before, because I'll never forget. We went dancing another time, and you kind of told me in the car. You was like, you were, what was it? You were supposed to drive me home,
right, right,
and
okay.
before then, you were
You
talking in
said
the car, and you was like, man, and I was like, what? What's on your mind? Like,
oh, when I first told you I love you,
yes.
oh,
So I was
babe,
like,
I was like, man, that was hard.
it was hard for you to even come out and say.
Yeah, man.
And
I
you
was
was like,
like,
I think. You said, I think.
because I ain't going to throw myself out there because we ain't never really like, I'm like,
We
man,
never said it.
yeah, we just said, and I'm
We
like, I
we
don't like
knew
rejection.
we knew we were together, but we never said you my
Yeah, we hadn't made it official. We was just
right,
really feeling each
right.
other, right? And so I was like, I don't like want to be rejected. My biggest thing is like, man, what if she don't feel the same way? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I don't know if I can handle that. So I said, I think,
Well, he said,
you know,
I think I'm in love with you. And I was
right.
like, you think?
You think? And
You think?
I was like, well, what you thinking? You know, I
Right.
don't put myself out here. I need to hear from
What
you.
about you?
Yeah, what about you now? Like, quit playing. Like, and then you
Yes,
was like,
yes, Chris. Yes, Kingfish found out
fish.
forever love.
Yeah. And then so she was like,
So yes.
yeah, she's
So I
like,
told him,
yes.
I said, you know what? I love you too. I just said it. I love you too.
Right. She just said it. And after that, that was all she wrote. Right.
That
I
was
was
it.
after that. And
So
so,
so I didn't buy him, y'all. He said the
right.
L word
Right. I said it
on
first.
another day.
Right. I said it first. Let me go. I said that. I said it first. And I remember something. I remember what you did that was so crazy because I just showed your aura in your heart. When every time I open a car door for you, maybe you don't know, every time I open a car door for Christy, she
Yeah.
would always reach over and open my door for me. She would just push it open. I had never had that happen, y'all. I was like, how could somebody be so selfless, right? So beautiful that I opened the door for you and you returned the favor for me. And you didn't have to, but she just opened the door on the other side. She leaned over with the steering wheel and just opened the door. You know what I'm saying, man? She was just different. And I was just like, man, I've never met somebody like this. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yeah, it's his heart was just like amazing. And I was like, man, it's this is it. So it wasn't hard.
You're a rare
It
breed.
was never hard to fall in love with you because you're just I will tell you this, and this is when you know you love somebody. If we were not husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, I would still love you. We would still be kicking it and we still be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't my ex-wife was never gonna be like that. Like you and your ex-husband never be like that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But like you were my forever friend.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That makes sense. It's like I
It
could
does. It
always
does.
we was always gonna kick it, right? We was always gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? We was
Um,
always gonna be
we're
vibing.
we're like a mirror to each other, right?
Yeah, we
We're
really
like a mirror
are, man. It was crazy, y'all. It was
because
crazy.
we had our exes were the opposite of us.
Yeah, our exes is crazy enough. My ex-wife and her ex-husband are exactly alike, y'all. Personality
Quiet,
wise, quiet. It was just crazy. We was like, that's
observant.
crazy. And we
Um,
just knew that I couldn't be with that. I gotta be with the opposite of that. Right? And so you were the opposite.
and you were
And
the
so
opposite.
we talk about this, y'all. And the reason why we're doing this show right now is because you don't hear about love no more. Like when I listen to
Yeah.
Instagram and TikTok and all, it's all this negativity. There's always somebody
You're
out here talking about
right.
they want to chase the bag. You know, there are people. And here's the thing now with with just society now. It's not even a generational thing. Just society. They're not even hiding it anymore. You got
You're
women now
not.
who just
They're
flat
very
out tell
open.
you that I just want you for your money. Like
You're right.
if you don't have X amount of money, if you don't what just see it, we did a show with people, it went viral. Some chick was like, these are the restaurants that we don't even want you to
Oh.
take us to, kind of thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
since
I can't
you know
believe
what I mean? Like,
Cheesecake Factory was at the top of the list.
yeah,
I was
cheese
like,
it. Like,
what?
but when did it ever be
I
about the
like
place you
Cheesecake
eat?
Factory.
It should never be about the place you eat. It should always be about the
Right.
company that you with, right?
Right.
I want to get to know you.
Breaking
It ain't never
bread
about
with
just
that person.
right. But that's
Exactly.
what's always now. It's
Look,
like people are about things now.
we can go ahead. Look, I remember when we first
That's so
went
true. Yeah,
went to old
that's
school.
true. That's
When we
true.
went to old school the second time, and you asked
Yes.
me what did I want to drink, and I said some water, and you said no. I mean, I can get you
Some
something to
alcohol. And I
drink.
was like, she was like, no, I don't drink. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in love. Because I don't drink.
He said
So
I don't
y'all don't
drink
know,
either.
Chris and I don't drink. Right?
We
We don't
have
drink
a
alcohol.
natural high,
Yeah, it's natural. So
so
it was so many compatibility things. It was just so crazy. It was like,
you don't smoke, I don't smoke.
right, we
It
don't
was just
smoke.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
just like
y'all. It was just
no.
it was one of those
I
things,
think my
y'all.
only flaw is that I like chocolate. I like chocolate.
That's your only sin, huh? It's chocolate,
I try to
huh?
limit myself to the weekends only, but somebody, I ain't saying no names, she be bringing me chocolate
I do.
all the time. And I'm like,
I
babe, just
do.
the weekend. Just wait till the weekend. Please wait till the weekend. Because if it's sitting there beside me,
But there are
it's
times,
tempting me. It's calling me and saying, Christy,
but you know what love does? I'm talking about
what
love
does
conquers. Love makes
these
you're
turtles
always
are
thinking.
gone?
Love always makes you think about what makes your partner happy. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
And so it's the little things, y'all. Like if I go somewhere, like I'm constantly thinking about, okay, she likes this, she doesn't like this, it's cool, it's not cool. But it
Mhm.
just flows now. You know what I'm saying? Like we just vibe now.
We constantly think about each other. I'm going
Constantly,
to work
constantly.
and I'm like, I gotta call my husband, let him know I made it.
Right.
Or
Y'all, we talk to each other. It was so crazy. From we um the day we met,
mhm,
we've talked to each other every day on the phone.
every
And no
day.
matter what it was,
And
every
we've
day.
been apart from each other before because
Mm-hmm.
you had a job that
My job,
when you
but
was
I talked
working
to
for
you
the oil
it was
company.
crazy. I remember though, we broke up for one day, y'all. We broke up for
Man,
one day. We broke
because
up for
he
one
being
day.
too nice.
I have to admit, I was being too nice.
Mhm.
It was just crazy situation. My ex girlfriend, and and I didn't want that. No, I didn't mess around with her, nothing like that, y'all. But I was just like Chrissy, I was just too nice, and I put
You
myself in a
blew you blew her
situation
a
to
kiss
where
over text,
I
y'all.
did, I did,
Over
y'all. I was
text.
like, I said a hug thing, but because we didn't have emojis back then, so I think I
No,
typed it out.
you sent an emoji.
It's I didn't say emoji, did I?
There's an emoji
Okay,
behind it.
right. So it was like emoji and some heart thing. And my
Uh-huh.
ex, and it was again, it was
Nice.
didn't want
Mhm.
to be with, but it was one of those things where I felt sorry for this person. I put myself in a situation, y'all, and so it violated trust. See, we just being an open conversation, y'all. Like I don't
It
have nothing to hide. Like Chrissy and I are real, y'all.
is.
So it was one of those situations where it's like at that point, she was like, "Well, okay. I mean, are you who I think you are?" Kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so I was like, "Yes." So I had to apologize, but you have to rebuild trust.
Right.
And so it was hard because at that point I was going to school in Auburn.
Mhm.
You were back in Atlanta. I would come down on the weekends,
Right.
but she had free access to come up to my apartment anytime. Cause I think didn't you have a key? I think you
You
did
gave
have a
me
key,
you gave me a
right?
key, but I
You
didn't
had a
want
key.
to. I didn't want to interrupt you. You had roommates,
Yeah, but I was like, yeah, I had a roommate, but I was like, you can show up
so
whenever you want to show up. Right, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have nothing to hide, but
I wasn't gonna do that.
because that situation, it just it broke trust. And
It
then
did,
if you don't rebuild trust, y'all, and the thing about it
and
is,
it caused me to do stuff, y'all, that I shouldn't have done,
yeah,
that I don't usually do.
yeah, she had to go
I
through
ain't
it, but
saying I
the
went.
whole going through the phones and stuff, which
Yes,
again, I didn't really
he
have nothing to
he
hide.
looked suspicious.
You
I was
would
like,
that would
oh,
bring suspicion, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't have nothing to hide. Like, I wouldn't with nobody else, y'all. I knew I wouldn't be with her. But you just open
he
up
was
doors where
good.
you don't put boundaries with stuff. And so I put
Right.
myself in that situation. And so, that's really a lesson for a lot of people, man. Make sure you put boundaries and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Protect your heart of the person that loves and cares about
and
you.
and
You know what I'm saying?
protect the person that you're with. Protect their heart too,
Exactly.
because they're
And
giving
so
their heart to you.
exactly. So I remember that, y'all. I remember it became very the distant. First of all, we have to rebuild trust, and it's hard to rebuild
Right.
trust. And I'm all the way over here. She's all the way over here. We're
Mhm.
not we talking to each other, but we're not really in front of each other. And then it was like, oh, you know, it then it's just human nature, right? If
Right.
once trust is broken, you start thinking about your past and your exes and the situations you've been in, and
Mhm.
all of that come to play.
Yeah.
And then it just came to a head for us. And I remember you was like, you know what? I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I
Mhm.
could be with you. You know what I'm saying? She says, I don't know if I can trust you again. I don't know if I can be with you anymore. I think we just need to kind of go our separate ways.
I don't like. I don't want to look through people's phones and stuff. That is not
Yeah,
me. I was
yeah.
like, I ain't got
I took
time
you
for
out your
this.
character. I took
It
you out
took
your
me out of my character. I was
character, and
like,
I was
nah, I
like,
ain't doing this.
man. And I was
I
like, you know
don't even
what?
want this.
And when she told me that, yo, it broke my heart, but I understood. And I remember that. I remember that whole day. I remember we talked that night. We broke up that night. And he was like, wish number the best, kind of thing. I'm like, I just don't know if I can do this. I need space, I need time, but we can't be together.
Right.
And then the next day, y'all, I kid you not, on everything. The next day, we didn't talk to each other. And that's the first time we
First
had
time
not
we
talked to
haven't
each
talked
other on the phone.
because we
And when
talked every day
every day,
until we broke
all the
up.
time. And when I went that day without hearing from her, y'all, when I went that day and I could not, and I realized, I'm like, I look at my phone, there's no messages. I'm looking like I can't call her. I remember I said, you know what? The very next day after that, I called up. I said, I will do whatever it takes. I said,
Mhm.
I need you in my life. I want to be without you. I know that much. I said, I don't know nothing else, but whatever it takes, I'm rocking with you. I want to be with you. Let's make this thing work. Let's make this thing happen. I love you.
And it was a release for me too. I was like, I can't concentrate.
Yeah, like you
I can't
tell me that
concentrate at work.
couldn't think, you couldn't eat. I was like, man. So
I'm losing weight.
one day, right? You lose weight. You're so silly.
Like this don't make no sense. But
Yes.
I was like, I gotta heal. I gotta heal. I gotta heal. Then when he called, it was like, Oh my God, I'm feeling the same way.
Yeah, I'm like, man,
You get on my
yeah, this
nerves.
guy, this ain't gonna happen. I said,
You get on my
we're gonna work through this thing. I said, I said, I ain't going nowhere. I said, you're the best thing ever
nerves.
happened to me. You're my heart. Man, we worked through that. You know what I'm saying? That thing, let me tell you, that was crazy. That
It
was
was.
crazy, y'all.
It was.
And so, but it brought us to a place to where, my wife she taught me so much in life, y'all. You know what I'm saying, man? Christy taught me how to it's a crazy thing, y'all. You get with somebody in life, and I will tell you this, they teach you things, whether you know it or not.
We learn
And
from each
I
other.
was I was
We learn
horrible
from
with
each
money.
other.
I was horrible with money. Okay.
Oh my God.
Horrible.
And he is not exaggerating.
I was horrible with money because I never had
Horrible.
to. Like I wasn't never responsible for anybody else but
I
me,
had to
even when
teach
I
him
was
about
married
credit.
before. Yeah, even when I was married before, my ex-wife and I didn't have any kids. So we had two dogs. So she did her, I did me, right? So I was just so when Chris and I got together, she's very frugal, she's very, she's planning everything out, budgets, all that stuff. I didn't know about all that. So even though we loved each other, this is a lesson for a lot of people a lot of people who might be hearing this. Is a lesson in this. These are the little things that you have to work out. Because it wasn't a love. We loved each other, we cared about each other.
It's more than love. It takes more than love.
It takes more than just love. Like you have to understand finances. You have to understand communication. You
Well, it's
have to do
respect
this
for
stuff.
all those things,
Right.
right?
Because you can love somebody and don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to maneuver through that. You know what I'm saying? And I
Because we got to
remember it
build
was
up
hard.
together. How can we build up together if we're not on
Yes.
the same page?
And you was like, I gotta get my own account. And I was like, I cannot deal this with
I was
you.
like, I ain't sharing. I don't want to share no account with you.
Account going in overdraft, all kind of stuff, y'all.
I was
I
like,
was
oh no.
overspending, all kind of stuff, right?
I said,
It was,
I'm not late on my bills. I said, I don't do that. I don't do the late on the bills
yeah,
thing.
I was just bad
Mhm.
with that, y'all.
Oh,
I'm telling you. And
I
so,
I was like,
what
no,
what
this
I
ain't
will
gonna work.
say, when we talk about love conquers, what I love
Love
about what you did,
conquers.
babe, what I love about what you did, and this is for a lot of people out here, is that you never gave up on me, right? You never gave up on me. You kept. I think you started to teach me a little bit about money. You would say, hey, you know what? Let's pay the bills in advance. Let's pay the bills first. Whatever's left after, then you can spend and da 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 da.
Mhm.
And sometimes you got to teach each other, y'all. Everybody don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't know it all. And so she taught me that. And I sat down and I was like, okay, that makes sense. She didn't tell me. What she didn't tell me was you couldn't spend money. She just said, well, let's make sure we pay the bills first.
Right.
And what's left over is when you allow to spend, and then you don't have to spend everything, right? You may save a little bit for a rainy day. But sometimes you got
That's
to
it,
teach
Mika.
people, and you got to be swallow your pride. And a lot of people are so prideful that you don't want to learn nothing, that you think you know it all and you've been through it all and you have it all. You don't, right? You be somebody that actually knows something. She's better at money than I was, right? She always has been. To this day, she's still better at money than I am.
And you,
I'm getting it. I'm getting as good as her though. I'll give it to you. I'm getting as good as her.
you're
I'm
t-
much better.
you're starting to practice what you now preach.
Right.
Because you're like, I know it, but now let me start practicing it.
Right.
And here's the thing, I've learned a lot from you too. I've learned a lot from you too. Because one of the things that you're very knowledgeable about, right? And I'm glad you kind of encouraged me too. You was like, okay, now you got to go back to school because you
Yep.
always wanted to finish that. And
Yes.
then you would say, hey, we can work this out.
Yeah. I made
You
a deal with you. I remember that. I made a
Here's the
deal with you.
thing. You also said, I'm not, because you was like, eventually you were thinking about getting your master's, but I'm not getting my master's until you get your bachelor's.
Right. So I got my bachelor's degree, and
And
this is for some people out here,
oh,
babe. Let me just say it real quick. This is for some
go
people
ahead.
out here. A lot of y'all just only look out for yourselves, and you don't realize that the person that's rocking with you invest with you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't do this by yourself,
Hmm.
right? And so I made a conscious decision. I was like, I have a bachelor's degree. I will not go back and get a master's degree until my wife got her bachelor's degree. That was a fact.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you help when it was my turn, you rock with me. Now it's your turn.
Mm-hmm.
Like she'll tell you this stuff, even on the show. She helped produce the show, put this stuff together. I tell her all the time. The
And there's
minute you
stuff we
need
can
me,
work on.
the minute you need me to do something for you, I got you. I got
Right.
you. There's no question about it. You got to do for each other, y'all.
You gotta
Right?
do for each
You
other.
gotta do for each other. You gotta sort. We too old. At some time in your life, y'all, you gotta get grown to the point where there's no competition. You ain't got nothing to prove at this point.
And you
You in
gotta
your
help each
30s and
other.
40s, you got nothing to prove. There's not a game out here. You have
Right.
nothing to prove to somebody. Swallow your pride, swallow your ego. You know what I mean? Love somebody.
And
Quit,
it
quit.
ain't about everybody on the outside trying to
Yeah,
come into your relationship, trying to tell you what to do with your
yeah. Keep
relationship.
people out of your relationship.
No.
Quit all that. Quit all that cheating stuff too. You know, I gotta say that.
Yeah.
All that cheating stuff nowadays, y'all. You gotta stop
If
that.
if you're gonna go do that, be by yourself.
Yeah, just
Don't
if that's
don't
what you
commit don't
right.
commit to
You
a
could we too
person
grown for that.
and
If
then
you
go and cheat on a person. If that's
yeah,
the case, then you might as well be single
let's
and
go be
go do
single.
your thing. And there's some people that's into that type of stuff. They okay, if you had want an open marriage or something like that, you need to be with somebody else that's into that stuff. Because me and
Don't let
she had a
society fool
conversation
you.
about that too.
Yeah,
I was like,
we
babe,
did.
if you into anything like that, I said I don't play that
I said I'm
spiritual
not.
stuff.
I'm not.
And I'm not either.
Right, but
I'm not either.
we were open and honest with
We
each
were
other.
we were. We talked about a
We
whole
talk
lot
about
of stuff,
everything.
how we want to raise the kids,
Right.
how how we were raised. And look, you were more knowledgeable about church than I was, because remember, I grew up as a J-Dub. So there was a whole lot of stuff that I didn't know about church that you had taught me about that too. And I started liking gospel music and all of this stuff. So
Right.
it,
Yep.
it was a lot that I have learned, and that I kind of knew in my spirit as well, because God always had a relationship with me, always. I remember when I was a little girl and I had wrote a note to God. That's how real God was to me. I wrote a note and I put it in an envelope and I put it on the table. Now I don't know if my parents did something with it, but I put on there to God in heaven, thinking that it was gonna get mailed off, and God is gonna just get my note. And I
God
was
is Santa, huh? Okay.
yes, yes. So I wrote everything down. So to me, God has always been real from when I was little. There's stuff that has supernaturally have happened in my life, and I'm saying supernaturally because I never I never thought the power of God existed until I got older and I started seeing the power of God. And that's what really made me open my mind a little bit further. So, and getting with you was like, okay, there
Right.
you believe in the power of God, I believe in the power of God. There's so much more to spirituality. Um, and there was so much more in our marriage that
Right.
I would love for other people to feel, to experience, and to
Put God first. That's the best thing
put
in marriage.
God
Put
first.
God
Let's
first.
first and foremost put God first.
First and
If you
foremost.
don't
Put
see
God
God in the,
first.
if you don't see God in a person that you're
If you
with,
don't have God in your
if you're
marriage,
if you're a believer and you don't see God in the person that you're with, that might not be the person for you.
yeah, I can't see.
I,
If you got to be with somebody that's spiritual, I don't know. I can't see
yes,
marriages
I,
being successful without the presence of God. Now that's just me. If
well,
you have it,
I
God
mean,
bless you.
call it what it is.
You know, I can't see that. I don't know what that is. You know what I'm
And,
saying? First of all, I
and
don't
there's,
know what it is not
like
to
I
have
said,
God in
there's
my life.
somebody. I always say there's somebody for everybody.
I'm
There's
sure. You know,
and I'm sure there's people that they have their own beliefs, that they have some weird belief and some other belief, and they get together and they good. But for us, I know specifically for us, we needed somebody that was compatible, and we're very much compatible
very
on a
much.
lot of ends, spiritually, physically.
Yeah.
We
If you
build each
didn't
other up
believe in God, it wasn't gonna work.
emotionally, right?
I
Um,
couldn't marry no atheist. That
no,
wouldn't go that wouldn't go
we would
happen. You know what I'm saying?
probably be oh gosh, we'd be bumping heads on that.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
We
So
would be bumping heads on that front. I definitely I admire you, babe. I truly admire you as my
admire you
husband
to my
and
queen.
as a man in general. You're a different breed of a man. I'm a different
I
breed of a woman. We handle things differently. And there's a lot of people out there that would look at you and be like, "Oh gosh, how can you be with just one woman?"
yeah,
There
but I will say
and
I want to add on to what you said.
what?
Why I admire you because here's a crazy thing, right? Um, you never made me feel like less of a man, and that's
Mm,
important, ladies. My wife, don't ever, one thing about a man, you can't take away his manhood. Once we did, that's one thing. That's our ego. You were very prideful. Men are, you
right.
can't take that away. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember this part. This is a true story, y'all. I remember when Chrissy was making more money than me. I remember that. Listen, I
Yeah.
I think we were talking one day. She didn't even tell me all the details.
Why would
One
I
day we
have
were
to tell
talking.
you all the details?
One day the direct deposit had came into the account, and I was like, babe, you got a bonus or something? And she was like, here's what she tell me, y'all, right? She says, well, no, well, kind of. She said, like, no, but kind of. And I said, well, what do you mean? She says, well, remember that I told you that, I had a good review of my job and, and this, that, and the other. And I was like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah. Well, it came with a pay raise. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I was like, well, how much you making? And then she says, well, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I was like, so now I'm like, oh, it matters now. Because what you mean it don't matter? Like how much you making? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you making like I'm still a man of the house money? Like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was a little, a little concerned because
Oh Lord,
she was just like, it doesn't matter, babe. It's all going to the same account. We're
you were acting
one.
like Marty Moss.
Y'all, I'm not lying to you. When she wouldn't answer. So I was like, babe, why would you tell me, you know, why would you tell me what you're making? Like, why you even tell me how much you're making? I'm like, she's like, babe, because it doesn't matter, you know, my money is your money. She tell me all that sweet stuff, but she won't give me the numbers, y'all.
Uh,
And when she finally broke down and told me, she was like, I don't
mm,
see the big deal. She showed me was it a letter you got or something you got? It was written how much your salary would be now or something like that. I'm
mm,
from HR. Yes. So HR had gave her this letter thing, letting her know what her new salary was going to be.
mm.
And she was like, well, I'll just show it to you.
So how'd you feel? What was the problem?
The problem was when I saw all them numbers,
Oh Lord.
I damn near passed out. Because
Mm.
I was like,
She making more money than me.
she made more money than me, dog. She made more money than me, dog. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. And then you were like, what's the big deal? I'm like, I'm telling you, it's something to that manhood thing. When she making more money than me, I'm like, now I'm thinking, I'm like, man, is she gonna have an extra attitude? Do I gotta do dishes now? Do I have to, do I gotta
Right.
clean a little extra?
Oh
I'm like,
my
I don't know
goodness.
what's about to happen. I was like, is her whole attitude gonna change towards me now?
Yeah. We
I'm
share
being for real.
responsibilities, y'all.
But a lot of women make men feel a certain way if they're making more money than them. And
I
that's a lot of men experience that. A lot of women, y'all don't understand. A lot of men experience that.
mm,
If a woman's making more money than a man, that somehow along the way it'll be brought up in arguments, it'll be brought up in responsibilities, it'll be brought up in
mm,
certain things, certain, you know what I mean? It's weird, but it's not.
I've
We're
seen it.
still equal. And it's just money, but now it's like, is your husband still the man in your life, right? Is he still head of household because you make more money than him? You see what I'm saying? Like,
He's still
and you never made me feel that I was less than a man, if that makes sense. You see what I'm
That's right.
saying? You never made me feel like I was less than
No,
when you
we're a
made more money than me.
team. We are a
We're a
team.
team. We were a team. We are a team. You know, the money came in the same
Right.
account and everything. But for a lot of men don't get that. I'm telling you, that's a lot of men don't get that. Once your woman starts making more than you, how do you handle that? Like a lot of men, a lot of women feel like because I make more money than you now, the things that the roles have changed. You know what I'm saying? No, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it brings up a lot of times stuff start coming up now, and all of a sudden a regular, if you have a disagreement, now it's about how much money somebody makes, or I bring home this much now, and well, how come you ain't doing? You know what I'm saying? For real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing about it is, like I said, I love the fact that you never lost respect for me. You never treated me any differently because you understood money is just a resource. It's not a source.
Right.
And that's the thing,
That
guys.
part.
Just always remember that in your relationships, all right, in your marriage, that in a relationship, money's a resource. God is a source. Money's a
Mm,
resource. So don't change up on
right.
nobody just because somebody makes more money than the next one. It's all money at the
Well,
end
that
of the
reminds
day.
me of what Fish has said. As long as we don't throw it in each other's face. Fish has sent us something, a video that kind of brought that up a little bit. That video that where this couple was talking about, having the fair fighting
Right, the
fair.
fair fight. Yeah, fighting fair.
Yeah. And they
Let
were
me
pretty
find
much
it.
saying they know what buttons that they can push on the other person.
Right. It's true.
But where the love is when you choose not to push those buttons because you care about that
Right.
person more than hurting
Right.
them. You don't
It's
want to
no
hurt them
different.
with those buttons.
Right. It's no different for a man where he puts his hand on a woman, right? Like there's
Mm,
some line where I never have to cross, no matter how mad I
right,
get at you or how mad I am at
right.
you, right? But just like men have that rule, that unwritten rule that says I'm not going to put my hands on my wife or a woman, I think a lot of
And
women
vice versa.
don't
A
realize,
woman
right?
shouldn't be putting her hands on
Well,
him either.
that's true too, but a lot of
You have to
women,
have
that's
that
not
level of
what they do.
respect.
Right, but a lot of
Mhm.
women don't necessarily won't necessarily do it that way. Where a
My
woman hits
daddy
a man
told me.
hardest, where a woman hits the hardest
uh,
is the words that she says.
yes.
So she won't hit you in the literal sense. She'll hit you with those words. And for a
Hmm.
man, that's the trigger. That's the button that gets pushed. So
Hmm.
just like a man has an unwritten rule that we're not going to literally put our hands on a woman, I think a lot of women need to have that unwritten rule that I'm not going to say the very thing that I know is going to
And I
tick
know
you
that's
off,
gonna hurt you.
right? Hurt you and set a bomb,
Right.
right? That's the thing,
That is so
right?
true.
The vocals is the thing that hits us harder.
Right.
And so if you respect that, understand that, and keep that, I think that at the end of the day, you have that level of respect. And I
Right.
think and you just keep it that way, right? There's some things you just don't need to do.
Again, it goes back to respecting each other.
Right.
When you
So
have that
love
level
is
of respect
respect.
and
That's the
loving each
thing.
other.
Right.
Right. Oh, babe. We could talk all
So we
night.
can talk all night, y'all, but we get ready to wrap this up, y'all. I love you. We love you guys. Thank y'all for
Love
tuning
y'all.
in to CheesTake.
Yes.
We're back on Tuesday. We're gonna
Hopefully
have
King
topics
Fish
like
don't
this.
feel better by
Holy
then.
Fish, Damon, Datron,
Yes.
Nate, Kyle, all the people who jump on here, even Mika that helps her
You
jumps
come
on here,
here.
Nate, all my people that jump, Hadassah, coach that. So thank all you guys for helping
Yes,
on, man.
Glory.
That you
It's
guys
on
have done.
YouTube, Glory.
Yes, this is recorded. And so you guys always go back and listen to our stories and see if it pertains to you, right? And so we're gonna be talking about stuff like this, guys. I'll be doing we're gonna do a topic called blended families because that we have a blended
Oh,
family.
yeah.
And I think that's gonna be really, really cool because there's some things in blended families now that a lot of people have them now. A lot of people have kids, right? A lot
Mhm.
of women have children now. A lot of men have children. And so blended families are huge. And if you guys don't know how to handle that, right? Um, that's
Mm,
going to be another ball. I will say this as we go. Blended families are not for everybody. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
and
That's a whole
I'm gonna
nother.
be honest
It's
too.
not for
Some
everybody.
people not ready for families.
Yeah, some people ain't ready. That's a whole nother animal right there. So that's like I said, we're gonna have some topics, y'all.
Love you,
Um,
Ma.
and so we getting ready to get out of here, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I
And
know
if
we've been
Daddy's
going the last
watching,
couple of
love you,
weeks.
Daddy.
Yeah, love you, Mom. Love you, Pops. Love you guys. All you guys on here that tuned in. Love all you guys. Um, God bless y'all.
God
We
bless.
pray that God's favor consumes
Yes.
you. That you have divine favor in your life. Goodness and mercy and kept themselves around you. Whatever you touch, whatever you believe that you want is going to happen. Forgive those, please. Forgiveness, y'all.
Yes.
Forgive people. Don't hold no
Don't hold
grudges and stuff.
grudges.
Don't hold
Life
your
is
blessings
life is
up.
too short.
All right.
Hey, be happy.
Be
Okay.
happy, y'all. All
Find
right.
find that silver lining in that cloud. Okay.
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
harp on the negative,
You only
but
live
try to
once.
try to find the positive. And
Absolutely.
if you are feeling like you're down about something and you're holding some type of grudge, you might need to have a conversation with the person you're holding a grudge against.
You might
Just
get a
to have
different story.
right.
It
Give
might
yourself
go different
some
if you
type
can.
of closure
Right.
and then
It might
know
be
how
for
to
the
handle
better.
that person after that.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Right. So thank you, my love, for joining me today. I love you, my
I love you
wonderful
too, my
queen.
king.
Thank you all. Thank you, everybody else, man. We love you guys. And so we'll see you guys. Tune in again.
And Kingfish
Um,
said he's gonna be here next week. Yay!
Fish will be at next week, y'all. Demond, I'm trying to get Demond Datron. We'll have some special guests like we always do, y'all. And the team will come back on. So we love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. God bless y'all. And y'all be awesome. We love y'all. Good night.